Namaskar and welcome to my channel Kundali, Understanding Horoscope the Vedic Way. In today's video, we will do a Faladesh or prediction related to health by doing a case study on a Kundali. To follow along in this video, I suggest reviewing my earlier videos on Lagna Chakra and Bhaav Vichaar, Grah Vichaar and Rashi Bhed. You can also check out my previous Faladesh video to get a simpler example of prediction. In this video, we will look at a more complicated Kundali to predict health for a person. To start prediction, the first thing we need to identify is which house we should be looking at. As you might know from my previous video, first house, highlighted in orange here, governs health and appearance for a person. So, that is the house we will focus on to make predictions about health. Now, to analyze the first house, we need to look at two things: who owns the house and who is sitting in the house. As you can see, the first sthaan has a number 4 in it, which is Kark Rashi. Kark Rashi's owner is Moon. So, first sthaan owner is Moon. Now, for the second part, as to who is sitting in the first house, you can see that it is Rahu and Moon. In my video on Grah Vichaar, I mentioned that different planets have different degrees, from 0 to 30. For the purposes of this analysis, let's assume that Rahu is at 16 degrees and Moon is at 14 degrees. To remind you, a planet is considered strong or adult if its degree is between 10 to 20, and so both Moon and Rahu are strong in this Kundali. To make a health prediction based on this Kundali, we will have to consider 3 factors. First is, how is Moon? Second is, how is Rahu? And finally, how are Rahu and Moon together? The last part is important to remember. Planets behave differently if they are alone or in company of other planets. For detailed analysis, please watch my other videos on Grah Vichaar. Let's start with Moon. We know that Moon is a shubh Grah, so a positive. Earlier in the video, I showed that in this Kundali, Moon is the owner of the first house. It's a second plus because Moon is sitting in its own house. This is so because no planet harms its own house where it's sitting. Another way to think of it in the real world is if you own a house and if you live in it, you would not actually cause damage to it. It also has a strong degree of 14, so it will give its full influence. All of the above are positive, thus they point to Moon being favorable for the first sthaan, so it's positive for the person's health. Let's consider Rahu next, which is also sitting in the first house. Rahu is a Paap Grah and its degree is 16, which makes it strong. Since it's a Paap Grah and strong, it's expected to show its full negative effect. Final consideration for the purpose of our prediction is, how are Moon and Rahu together now? As a general rule, Rahu and Moon are enemies. Here, they are sitting together and in the house owned by Moon. Rahu and Moon together definitely have a negative effect for the person of this Kundali. Now, let's combine all three factors discussed to make the final prediction regarding health of the person with this Kundali. Moon is positive, Rahu is negative, and Moon and Rahu together are negative. On the surface, these observations would appear to indicate that the health should be bad because there are two negative factors and only one positive factor. But in reality, when we make prediction, then we also have to consider weightage of different factors. An example of weightage is the positive effect of Moon in this Kundali. Since Moon is sitting in its own house, its positive effect will outweigh but not completely eradicate the other two negative effects, namely effect of Rahu and effect of Rahu plus Moon together. So, the person will have largely healthy life, but due to the negative effects related to Rahu, will have issues such as skin trouble, rashes, and difficult to diagnose diseases in Rahu's Mahadasha. Don't worry if you're not aware of Dasha as of now. I will discuss that in more detail on my video on Dasha analysis. Interested in more prediction analysis? Check out my other prediction videos on this channel. Dhanyavad and thank you for watching this video. Please like and subscribe to my channel.